Hallelujah to the only true and wise King, triumphant in majesty, omniscient in might, glorious in strength. We adore you and we appreciate you, Father. Thank you for being merciful. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for being gracious and generous to your people, called according to your purpose. We thank you for divine healing, health, wholeness, and soundness. Thank you that you made a way of escape for every situation. All those that call upon your name, you said they shall be saved. And we thank you for divine healing, health, wholeness, and soundness. May be your will, my King. Hallelujah. Let you always rule and reign on the tables of our hearts. Write your name on the tables of our hearts, oh yeah, that we may ever be mindful of you in every situation, in every circumstance. Trust in you, rely and lean and depend on you, and we give you praise. Hallelujah. Amen. Blessings, family. I just bless God. That's my Yah for you today. I just want to remind you, this is Finish It Out Friday. I apologize for being the other day that I wasn't here, but I'm here even more in force for you today. Hallelujah. I know there are a couple that called me, well, they didn't call me, but text me and sent me a little information on my, what's that called? Gmail. And on my text and ask questions. So for that, a couple of these questions I put on my board today just for you guys. And we'll come back to the other thing that we were talking about. And I wanted to tell you all that I really love you. I appreciate you all being here with me. And I appreciate you for trusting Yah from my heart, with my heart. And with that I do know, I always tell you, I don't know it all, but that which I do know, I love sharing it with you. Thank you for being there. Let everyone know EMA Barb is on, what is it, alive?
You're live.
I'm live.
On YouTube.
I'm on YouTube, God's Warriors 298.
Yes, ma'am.
If you love me as much as I love you, do a thumbs up. Tell them hallelujah, do a thumbs up, hallelujah to the only true and wise King. Hallelujah. So today, family, I wanted to tell you some things. First of all, it's coming fall, it's coming autumn and fall. And we want to make sure that we are prepared for the fall. How about that? Make sure our colon is clean, because you know why we're going to do that? Because when your colon is clean, you alleviate all those colds and bacteria and mold and stuff like that might get into the body. How about that? Did you know when you clean your body out from the different seasons, you want to keep your colon clean, make sure your colon is clean. So I've got some different herbs today for you. And you say, EMA, if I take that, I'm going to be pooping all day. I can't work. Not necessarily. Let me tell you how it works. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it today. First, let me tell you what it is. And I bet you would never think. And you said, some of these things that I have up here, I never heard of stuff like that. EMA, I never heard of any of that. I know one thing you probably have heard of, psyllium husk. I think it's 2 L's, but it's psyllium husk. Let me get my little trusty charts so that we can mark them off as we go. It's PSYLIUM. Psyllium husk. Psyllium husk is what they put in some of those what do they call them? My dad used to call them poop helpers. So they're like what helps you go to the bathroom.
Like prune juice?
Like prune juice.
Apples?
Yes. It has all that fiber in it. And that's why and it bulks up in your colon and it pushes out when you drink. Now remember, we have to still maintain our water, family. Maintain that water. because that water is real important. Maintain your water. You know, one day I'm gonna take this water chart down, but in the interim, I keep having that song. You know, I'm just a mom, and an EMA always looks out for my loved ones. So that's why it just hurt my heart that I have to take this water chart down. But one day I'm gonna have to, family. So you all make sure you keep an eye on the water chart. Water is important. But back
You send it to me in a text me, Mom. I can post it on the community page and it'll be there permanent.
I will do that. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. Now, the psyllium husk is really excellent. You can get it in capsule form or as a bulk, or you get it in bulk form. And the bulk form, you can take it, it's like, I'm trying to think, Metamucil. That's what that is. The Metamucil is nothing but psyllium husk. So, but you can do that. But you also know one of my favorite things, and I always tell you all about slippery elm. Slippery elm is good for helping you clean your colon, clean the colon. And I bet you all say, Emma, every time you say something, I know what it is. I know it's ginger. You right. That ginger will keep you moving, keep everything going out really well. And turmeric, it says, some people pronounce it turmeric, but I like turmeric. Well, some people spell it Turmeric. Some people spell it as Tumeric, but it's just a turmeric. That helps with a lot of things, family. You're gonna love those that are already on board with the turmeric. Know what I'm talking about. It's like Mr. says. Before we got married years ago, he said, and my nephew, help my babies. He says he has an issue going to the bathroom. TT, he called me TT. He said, and TT, but when I'm coming to your house, I have no issues. I said, well, stop eating the processed foods. He says, well, and he says, leave it just like that. Well, and takes a deep breath. So I'm telling you, don't say well, just get rid of the processed food. Get rid of the white flour, white sugar, dairy products. Those things clog your colon so fast. And I bet you say, Emma, what I have to do, eat on top. No, remember, I've given you all, just about all but this week, I always give you all different things where you can eat, different foods you can eat. And when you eat these different foods, it helps keep the colon going, keeps the colon clean, keeps the colon Now, you know what? It even helps with gas. How you like me now? Pushes out those gases so you don't have to, what the children say, fumigate the area. It helps with gas. I love you. I'm just being facetious, but I'm telling you the truth. It's because I love you guys. Babies, look, barley green. This is supposed to be green. You all look over my handwriting. This is a G, barley green. That's good for colon as well. It's barley, B-A-R-L-E-Y greens. Barley greens is so good for you. I mean, it's good to keep the colon clean. It's good for the really, really, really clean. And another thing is Irish moss. Moss, I know at one time there was this YouTube sensation where they were talking with Dr. Sebi, and he said, do Irish moss. And you can do, it's packed with minerals. We're going to talk about some of these minerals at another time too. Packed with minerals, but it's just like psyllium husk. It keeps everything flowing, just like slippery elm and flaxseed. I didn't put flaxseed down here, family. Flaxseed, you know how to spell flaxseed. Flaxseed. You know, those are my favorite. They have flaxseed, F-L-A-X,
Any of y'all know EMA, she put flaxseed in everything.
You right. You right. Cause it helps with it keeps things going and flowing. Plus it's packed with minerals, condensed minerals. What do we say? Say it with me. The greatest things are in small packages.
Yes, ma'am.
We love our seeds, family. Remember, we love our seeds, so you get those bulks of seed and keep it in your cabinet, and then you just sprinkle. Now, don't get one of the young people asked me, told me that she gets it already milled. But I want you guys to be aware of this. If you get it already milled, you don't know how long it's been there. What I mean by milled is powdered. So you don't know how long it's been there. And when you grind it or powder it, or ground it or powder it, the nutrients are released. And you don't know how long it's been, so you want it to be effective as possible. So because if you've already gotten it already ground, my recommendations, like my grandmother used to say, my druthers, I'm telling my age and family, my druthers, I would prefer to grind them myself. I was grinding some flaxseed this week, and Mr. looked at me and he said, "Are you grinding flaxseed?" Yep. He said, I said, because the reason why I'm grinding them now, because I know they're not going to be lasting any more than a week. Right. So I can grind them now. I know when, and he's like, so sometimes we won't tell him that we put it in the beans. Flaxseed in the beans. Oh. We won't tell him, okay?
Well, you just told.
I love you. In the beans, and what it does, it helps thicken it up. It thickens the beans up. It's like okra, and it thickens. It swells. Yeah. It gels, and when it gels or thickens, it pushes everything right on out, family. So you don't have the issues. You don't have the gas issue. You don't have any of those issues, and you get more, and it compounds on the beans. So everything that the beans, all the different beans that you put it in, it's going to enhance that because it has its own nutrients. And when you put it in there like that, I mean, it's wonderful. It's good for you. Heart, kidney, lungs, your internal organs will love you. Hallelujah. Oh, I started to tell you that when Dr. Sebi was talking a while back about Irish moss, and he said how it swells, but you have to watch how you get your, because they, our Asian family love to duplicate things because they've gotten really well with it. So you want to make sure that you get the real Irish moss. It smells a little bit and it looks real strange. That's what the real one does. But you can get it in capsule form. They had this thing about Irish moss. Now, Irish moss is filled with a lot of nutrients, packed with nutrients. But you want to watch it as well, because make sure that they have it in a place that's not in the ocean. Because if it's in the ocean, because of all the contaminants and the radiation and all that it draws from it. So you want to make sure that you get it organic Irish moss. You don't want it right out of the ocean, because for that reason, because it could be more harmful than good. So keep that in mind. And Seneca, you know what they used to call Seneca? They got that from senna, the senna leaves. There is one of these. It's called Seneca, and it helps you. Says it helps you go to the bathroom. It's not a pressure or anything like that, and all that. The first part of it tells you what leaves it came from. The senna, and they just add Seneca, which is like senna leaves, and it's awesomely wonderful for you, and all the things that it does for you. And of course, don't forget the casa garada. Casa is now I can't always pronounce it. Kasagarda. Yeah, what I said. This is really, really, I don't know why I can't say it today, but it's all good. I wrote it down for you so you'll know what it is. It's wonderful for the body. It does all these wonderful things, plus it helps detox. And you want to pull all those toxins and stuff out of the body. You want to pull it out. You want to make sure everything is flowing. And plus it gives energy. Can you believe that? It gives oxygen to the brain. All of these things that I'm telling you today will help. And even more, and the other things that I didn't even write down. Activated charcoal. Remember I told y'all that activated charcoal is good at night before you go to bed, and it pushes those toxins out. It pulls all the toxins. And then what I do in the morning when I get up, I just do the bentonite. I didn't write it down. The bentonite clay. B-E-N. I told you all about this the last time. Bentonite, B-O-N-T-I-N-T-E, bentonite clay. Y'all look over my handwriting. B-E-N-T-O-N. In my effort to get here to you guys today, I guess let me write it up here so you all can see it. Bentonite clay. Bentonite clay. But don't get the powder one, get the liquid one, because the liquid one it goes through and then you can push it in and it's already liquefied for you and everything, and just shake it up. The bentonite clay in the morning. So it's activated charcoal at night and then at night while this is pulling those toxins, then this bentonite clay pushes the rest of it out. It binds with this and it pushes the rest of it. The activated charcoal binds with the bentonite clay, or should I say the bentonite clay binds with the activated charcoal. And when it binds with it, it pushes the rest of the toxins out, because the toxins are like here. And they're coming out of the body and they push it out all through the night because you've already drank your water, remember? Keep this in mind, family. Activated charcoal, because the activated charcoal is going to pull those toxins, it's going to also pull a lot of water from your body, because it dries. If you would drop a little, just a sprinkle of activated charcoal on the ground or on your finger, you'll watch how fast it'll spread. It spreads really, really fast and all around. So when it does that means, can you imagine what that does in your body when you're drinking it? So you're gonna do this at night, the activated charcoal at night, and then in the morning with the bentonite clay, which also swells, it expands. It'll come along with this bentonite clay, and it just pushes everything out, right on out. So you're cleaning out your colon, and then you don't have those toxins and those little ringworms that come and all that, because when you're having allergies, that tells me sometimes your colon isn't clean when you're having allergies. Sometimes your colon isn't clean, or you have those little there's hundreds of different types of worms that are in our body. They're called parasites in our bodies. So with the activated charcoal will grab all those different parasites and things like that, and then it binds with the bentonite clay, and it pushes a lot of those parasites right on out the body. Of course, don't forget your lemon water. So in the morning when you get up, the first thing, I normally grab my bentonite clay liquid. First thing in the morning, you all know that I get up early in the morning and do my prayer time. My husband sometimes complains, he says, it's 3:30, why are you getting up so early? To take my bentonite clay, and I go back to bed sometimes, unless I'm praying. And yes, see there? And so we drink that, and then we go to our prayer time. And then afterward, don't forget your cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper pushes, and of course you all already know, it detoxifies. It pushes all the toxins out. It binds it. If you're gonna get some different kind of peppers, we grow peppers, and those peppers are so good because it keeps the arteries, the veins, the capillaries all clean. The capillaries are the little bitty veins that are goes from the heart and goes from the brain, the little bitty ones, and it pushes all that out, and it keeps it all clean. And I love that. You will too when you find out how it works. Wonderful on you. So I'm just saying those are some things that, and then after that, after a little while, around 6:30, 7 o'clock, then I go for my lemon. I go for my ginger. I go for my garlic, and right on down I make my little teas. And I text you all, and if you all look at God's Warriors 298, or I text it and send it out on my Gmail and let you all know the different teas I drink. Yes.
Question for one of our family members in the live chat, and they said, how much charcoal mixed with how much water?
I love that. That's a wonderful question. Thank you. You've been listening. Okay, what you're gonna do, start off with at least a third of a teaspoon. Now, when you mix in, and I think on my other videos, I mentioned that when you mix in your activated charcoal, don't use metal, use plastic spoon, because the activated charcoal will grab the metals. When you mix it in, make sure you're using a glass, mix it in with glass, and then use a plastic spoon, and you mix it, or a wooden spoon, and mix it in and drink it down. Excellent question. And like I said, a third of a teaspoon in an 8-ounce glass of water, depending on, and you're gonna chase it with another 8-ounce glass of water.
They've got the exact same question for the bentonite clay also.
Bentonite clay, excellent. I love how you're listening to me. Thumbs up to you. With the bentonite clay, you're gonna do like a teaspoon. Well, I would say start off with a teaspoon and a half. As we stated before, make sure you use a plastic spoon, because you don't want it to pull any other, because it's gonna pull the metals and things like that. Bentonite clay will pull metal out, and that's why they call them, it'll pull the metals out, those toxic metals. Heavy metals is what I'm saying, the heavy metals, it pulls it out. So that the body doesn't use, it will, those that the body does not need, that's what it's pushing out, toxins. So you're gonna use, for the bentonite clay, I'd say use about a teaspoon unless you're ready. If you've already hydrated and you have enough water in your body, use a tablespoon in an 8-ounce glass of water. And mix it up really good with in your glass water with a plastic spoon, but make sure that's like a teaspoon or to a tablespoon. Once you graduate, I would say don't go any more than a tablespoon and a half with the bentonite clay. You can go up to a tablespoon and a half. Some people can go up to 2 tablespoons of bentonite clay, but that's once you're really good with it and you know you're hydrated. Maintain no more for the activated charcoal, no more than a third of a teaspoon to maybe a half a teaspoon, because it can get really gritty. And you want to continue that you make that, but no more than a third. For those who know about activated charcoal, no more than a half, a little less than a half. Okay? So these are some things that I wanted to make sure you guys knew about colon and digestive tract, so that you would be able to acclimate your body so you can push out for some of those parasites for the summer, prepare your body so that you're built up for the autumn season, so that those bacteria, they have no place in your body. Remember, your body's the temple of the Holy Ruach HaKodesh. Your body's the temple of the Holy Spirit, and the Spirit of the Most High dwells in it, and you don't want the toxins to overtake your body. So these are just a few things I wanted to tell you guys about today. Now, of course, there are others. These are just a few things, and like I said the other day, one of the young people, they sent me a text, and they said, what do we do about this particular thing? And I guess I was still texting. I texted them so many things. They were like, and they sent me an emoji, and it was the person asleep but smiling. I said, thank you, EMA. So I left just a few things. They tell me sometimes I can overload. So I don't want to overload today. These are just a few things. If you want to, let me know, and I'll come back and give you some more stuff in case this doesn't work for you. But these are just a few things. Let's go on to the next. I just wanted to talk, and I made notes today. My son always says, and he's going to be, your mom, the one who gave you birth, loves you today. And I am sticking to my notes. And so I don't go over. So today, family, I'm going to talk to you about some different drugs that you thought were really okay. Yes.
Another question from the family in the lab chat. They say, what's good for gallstones and gallbladder?
Gallstones. Now, I'm happy that you asked that question. Now, you can actually, you know what? You can use these, and they would help push that out. It helps push these things out as well. Let me tell you, Seneca is good, and also Irish moss will help with gallstones and that type of, and Casa is Cascara is good for gallstones as well, and also for bladder. You know what? Also, you could also do a milk thistle is good. Milk thistle is also good for that. And we're just just to make sure that you keep your body clean. These are some things that would help during that time. How about that? Do you know also, and I know I always talk about burdock. Burdock is another thing that helps. Burdock is a wonderful thing that it also helps with that. For gallstones, burdock helps with that. And just as long as you're keeping your system, your digestive system clean, it'll help with the buildup, because it's just buildup.
The person says white acid and trying to keep you from doing surgery.
Trying to help you keep from doing surgery?
Yes, ma'am.
Trying to help them doing surgery on the gallstones and all that. Make sure your colon, keep your colon, because these other things, check this out. Your Seneca, your Cascara, Sagranda, those things will come together and it builds up. Do you know bentonite clay will go straight to that part and it will help deplete those nodules, I call them nodules, in your intestine, to keep those things down. As long as you have your digestive system clean, there's no buildup. How about that? So do they say that you have to have surgery immediately?
He hasn't answered back. I think he was saying trying to keep him from having to have surgery.
Yeah.
We'll wait on a response.
Make sure your colon and your digestive system is clean. And it keeps that buildup from developing and our nodules from coming up. So, as we stated before, flaxseed in your food, sprinkle a little flaxseed in your food. Black seed, not the oil, but the seed itself. You can get black seed, and then you get it, and when you have an opportunity, sprinkle it in your food, around in your food. And when you sprinkle in your food, that dissolves a lot of that as well. So you won't have those issues, because it's going to go straight to those, it's going to attack straight those areas where you need it, and it's going to keep you from having those issues to come up. Now remember, you can get the black seeds, not the black seed oil necessarily, but you can do the black seed oil. But I normally put it in my food, the black seeds themselves, and sprinkle it in my food. As a matter of fact, I run my Mr. really crazy, because I always put it in his food. He's like, I don't like that black stuff. But guess what? He hasn't had surgery yet. Even polyps, he doesn't have the issue with the polyps. Yes.
Our family responded, yes, full of gallstones. That was the person's response that was saying that they were trying to keep from having surgery.
And they're full of gallstones?
Yeah, I guess that.
Okay, tell them to start doing the black seed oil. Black seed oil, and put black seed on your food. Do parsley.
And they're asking also black seed or black seeds?
Black seed. Black seed. Do black seed, do flax. Remember we said the smallest seeds are the most powerful?
Just like some.
Yes. So what you're gonna do, now you can do the black seed oil. This is how black seed oil in the mornings, take like a teaspoon or half a teaspoon, mix it in, and also cayenne pepper. Guys, cayenne pepper is your friend. Oh my king and creator. But stop the processed foods. I'm here to tell you. You have to, if you know you're prone to gallstones and issues like that, urinary tract infection, stuff like that, I would recommend, see what your doctor says, but I would recommend you want to get rid of the processed foods. Please, get rid of the processed foods. Get rid of, yes.
Another family member is asking what brand is the best type of black seed oil. I've read reviews from people that not all types are the same.
Exactly. Like not at all. Remember, we started off when I first started talking, and we said, the very first time we said, not all herbs are equal.
Right.
Not everything is equal. There's some, you know what, right now, the top of my head, and I can see the bottle, but I cannot, I will send a Gmail, I'll send a text out.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll put the name of it on there for you. I'll make sure I do that. Please forgive me. But I'll make sure I send you all one of the ones that, there's one that they have at Vitamin Shop. And I don't drop names. I'm sorry, I don't drop names. But Vitamin Shop has one that I'll use sometimes, and I'll have to get that for you, the name of it. And I'll put it on God's Word is $2.98, okay?
Yes,
so you all can have that. Also, family, make sure that when you use your flaxseed, grind your flaxseed. When I say flaxseed, so I'll make sure, because grind your flaxseed so that you can get the nutrients coming out for you. Because once it's ground, then you get your proper of what you need, all the nutrients and the micronutrients you need from it. Okay? Huh?
So I say your body can break it down faster.
Your body can break it down faster. Right. Exactly. And then when you get black seed, family, when you get, I'm saying black seed. I'm saying it's that little bitty, you know what? You can order black seed from on Amazon, but you can also, You can also, there's an Indian, well, it's called International Stores here in St. Louis. You can go there and they have it just look like dirt cheap in a bag. And what you do, you have to look at the expiration date. Look for the expiration date on your products. So look at the expiration date. And if it's fresh, then every day sprinkle a little bit in your food. Not processed food. Now, just because you're getting these different herbs, don't mean that you can add flax on top of processed foods. You want to do your natural as possible, family. As natural as possible. Yes.
Another family member is asking, can you ask what's a good remedy for excess blood flow and long menstrual cycles?
Long menstrual cycle? Santa Claus, can you turn that fan toward me a little bit? Can you turn that fan toward me a little bit? Menstrual cycles, guess what, family? I know you're gonna say this with me. Turmeric. Say this with me. Parsley. Say this with me. Garlic. Say this with, you all know what I'm gonna say. Family, this is good for women. It helps regulate your cycles. Burdock. Say this with burdock. You know, you like EMA. Dandelion tea, chicory tea. You like EMA. Is that all? Yes, family. These are just a few things that help with regulating your cycle. Women, okay, go back on God's Words 298, and where I sent a text every week about, and sometimes twice a day, where I was telling you about the women's ancient Hebrew, ancient women's garden. And on that, it helps regulate your cycles and keeps the flow regulated. Go on that once and see that right where that, but in it you'll see burdock, you'll see dandelion tea, you'll see parsley, you'll see cilantro. These are just a few little things, family. Lemon water. Now, I know I talked to a young lady this week and she says, Emma, she says every time my cycle comes, she says, I crave caffeine. She says, I have to have caffeine. Well, guess what, family? Don't do the caffeine, not all the time. The chocolate, all the processed stuff is not really good. So what you want to do, remember we talked about fennel? You know how to say Fennel, fennel. And if you have to have something like for pain, go to, there's something, it's called white willow bark. White willow bark is fantabulous that helps with pain. Fennel is fantabulous, it's awesome, it'll be your friend. Fennel, F-E-N-N-E-L. Fennel is your friend. It'll make you go to the high pitch, ladies. And it helps so much, along with burdock, I can't say it enough, burdock tea, dandelion tea, chicory. You know what, you could do chickweed. How about that? And chickweed tea is chickweed or chicory and let me say this. There's two that I want y'all to be aware of. Okay, let me go up here. You all know this, the home remedies. I hate to do it to you, but do you know there's two things? Don't get it mixed up where there's one called chicory. Chicory is just like, that will be your friend, because in the years ago, before it's chicory weed. Can you all see that? Mm-hmm. Chicory weed used to be the replacement for coffee. They used to say coffee. They wanted coffee to do that. The coffee is just like they would use that as a replacement. And to this day, you could go to an international grocery store and ask them for chicory weed. Chicory, they're the same. Chicory weed, I call it chicory weed because it is a weed. Well, they classify it as a weed, but it's called chicory. And they would use it in the place of caffeine. Now, this chicory, family, once it gets through your body, it would not only give you oxygen, and that's another thing, family, that you were saying, to put oxygen back in for bladder, for those stones in your body. And what helps with that, that's another one that helps as well. But the chicory it'll give you that energy. And can you imagine if you mix, now if you can stand the taste, or you can do one on, one off, or in the morning you can do your chicory, and then in the a couple hours later at lunchtime, do your fennel, or you can just chew your fennel right after you do your tea. And it gives you that oxygen. And plus, family, it detoxifies. Can you imagine that? So those gallbladders, those gallstones, it even helps with gallstones. Also, fennel helps with gallstones. You can do that. But you can just you remember those little bitty seeds? I brought them at one time. The little bitty seeds. Let me see if I have it in my purse. Those little bitty seeds are your friends. Let me see if I have it in my purse. No, I didn't bring it this time. I'm sorry. I normally keep. I gave them away. I normally keep fennel in my purse for women that ask. And please forgive me. I normally keep fennel. They're little bitty seeds. And you could just chew on them, family. You know, like you used to chew on pumpkin seeds? Just take some fennel seeds, put it in your mouth. And guess what? It detoxifies. It helps with gallstones. It helps with urinary tracts. It helps even for men. It helps with men as well. But you can chew them, and when you chew them, it detoxifies. Plus, it gives oxygen, puts oxygen in the body, and not only it gives you that energy, it puts oxygen in the blood. So that's another thing for the person who was saying about the blood and all that. It puts oxygen in the blood, and it helps clean. That's how it gives you energy. And it gives you that alert feeling. And there's times when I've gone out and I've run out and I didn't do my routine for the morning and stuff like that, and I'll just grab, and that's another reason why I keep fennel in my purse. I can just grab some fennel and put some fennel in my mouth and pop and chew on it. It's just like Tobias said one day, he said, that fennel smells like licorice.
Yes, it smells like black licorice.
It smells like black licorice.
Like to sell that. I didn't sell the seed. The plant itself like to sell.
Yeah, it smells like licorice, black licorice. And so what happens when you do that, family, it's good for black licorice. It sounds like I'm sorry, it's me. I forgot to turn it off.
Oh.
So it's black, it smells like black licorice. And it's for those who love licorice, that's what it smells like. It's good. And I didn't, because when I was coming up as a kid, I didn't like licorice myself. I'm sorry, with all the sugar and stuff like that. But now that I knew, but licorice root is different from the fennel.
Right.
We'll talk about licorice root later on. Yes?
Somebody asked a question earlier, I told them I'm going to get back to it and ask. They asked, is organic black cumin seed oil a good one to use? Yeah.
You can use that organic cumin, but you know what I would recommend, family? I would recommend you the black cumin seeds themselves and sprinkle that over your food. I do that as well. That's what it was the black cumin seeds. That's what it is. And let me tell you another thing that's really good that helps. Let me tell you, and it's wonderful Don't forget, sprinkle the black cumin seeds over, because that's all black seeds is the black cumin. Thank you, family. I appreciate good looking out. I love you for that. But the black cumin seed, that's what it is. It's black cumin. It's black seed oil, and they crush it to get the oils. That's what that is. I thank you, good for looking out. I appreciate you. And it's the black cumin seeds. And I normally sprinkle it over my food. And you can sprinkle it over your food, and it is wonderful. Sometimes what we do, I'll take cumin, the cumin, and I'll do like Mr. He used to hate when I have to make him do this, but check this out. But it works. I'll take a little those seeds, and what with the seeds that I was, what was it? All of a sudden I just lost thought. But mix that in, cumin, ground cumin. Take that, and it's brown. Take the ground cumin, and I'm having a senior citizen moment for a second, but it only lasts for a second. I'm sorry, family. I was just so rushed, and I'm so happy that you're all here today. Please forgive me. But take cumin, the brown one. It should come powdered already, but like I said, check the expiration date. And I mix it. That's what I get for talking about Mr. all the time and telling our secrets. Sorry for that. But and I take it about a tablespoon, and I take it and mix it in with a little honey. You could take it just like that, mix it in, make sure it's like a paste. Don't put a lot of honey in it, just enough to make a paste. And take it and put it down your throat. Just take it like you're gonna take cough syrup or something like that. And then do a chaser with plant-based milk. Do a plant-based milk chase. Or either that's what he does. But I do it with, sometimes I'll do water or whatever, but do the almond milk chase. And I tell you some of the things that it does, by the way, I didn't do it this morning, so trying to rush. But guess what? You can do that. And when you do that, family, it just sneaks up on you one day. You're doing it every day. It keeps everything cleaned out. The cumin does that. It keeps everything cleaned out. I tell you, say, EMA, you just go through the day and just do, yes, Lord. I go through the day and just do stuff just for the body. When you, because they're even to the point whereby, you know what, the reason why I do all of these things is because I know the outdoors and what they've sprayed pesticides and things like that. And I just want to make sure that my body, what I'm telling you, that it works, that it really works, because I'm an example of how it works. So when I tell you different things, it's because I've done it before, and I love, and it does work. So anyway, take cumin, and you could take that cumin just like I said, a tablespoon, put it in like a small container, and then put enough honey in it till it just comes to a paste, a thick paste. Mix it in and take it. And you would be surprised at how, by the end of the week, how you're going to be feeling and what toxins go out through the body and how it purifies the blood. Oh, my King and Creator. You know what? Remember I told you all about Tulsi? Tulsi, remember? And I told you that was a certain basil. I told you there are different types of basil. There are different types of basil, and we grow basil. And remember I was telling you all about Tulsi and how in India it's called holy basil. If you look it up, it says holy basil, but it's called Tulsi, Tulsi. You can get it in a juice form, and in the morning sometimes, I will, if I can chase him down sometimes I try to chase him down before he walks out the door. But you can take that in the morning, and that's Tulsi, and it helps the brain neurons and stuff like that, and opens the third eye, well, our pineal glands, I shouldn't say the third eye, but it helps the pineal glands. And it balances everything out, and it's just wonderful for the body. All these things, family, these help keep the blood flowing. It keeps you from being stagnant. It keeps toxins pushed out. It prepares you for the different seasons at hand. It's just herbs that the Father's already put down on this earth just for us. And it affects our bodies in so many ways. And it's when we put it in our bodies, it brings vitamin A, B, C, D. And then when you go out, remember we talked about that Greenwich hour where you can go out and get a certain amount of sun, certain amount of D3 that your body really needs and all that. It helps with all of that. And when we're going, it keeps you, this is herbs for champions. They say food for champions or breakfast for champions. This is food for champions and you're gonna love it. So join me. And then text me back and let me know you're doing your homework. Now, this is no good if you all don't do it. So, I need you to work with me, help you, because I love you too much. Go, let's go on. What time I got? 3 minutes? Oh! Okay, what was the question?
That was it.
Okay, really quickly.
I'm sorry. I do have a question.
Okay.
How often do you take this?
Do I take the cumin or the tulsi?
The last one you just discussed.
The tulsi, holy tulsi, the holy basil, which is tulsi. Now keep in mind that when I said holy basil, which is tulsi, there are different varieties of basil all around the world. You'd be surprised at how many different varieties of basil there is. But the particular one I'm talking about is tulsi. I just do it every morning. You take 2 tablespoons and you can mix it in with water, or you do like me, do it straight and then the water chaser. And when you do with the water chaser, guess what? This stuff helps with your stones, kidney stones, and all of that. Basil, some of the simplest basil family. Well, how it does with that. And it just makes it dry out and get so small that it just goes out of the body, eliminate the body. Just something as tulsi, holy basil. So when you look that up, go to TULSI. Get the liquid, it's called tulsi juice or basil juice. And that's how you get it. There's some other things that we're going to talk about at a later date because I'll bring it to you guys. But before we go, really quickly, I just want to tell you all, there are some things that will deplete your body of minerals. We're only going to do this one right now. We'll come back and we'll finish telling you about these other things that deplete. And this is just a pain reliever. Remember I told you white willow bark is a pain reliever. That's where they get aspirin from. So this is just, what this is chemicals. And what it started off as is willow bark. And this willow bark is a pain reliever. And it's in the place of the niacids. Now they're natural niacids. And it depletes the body of folic. That's why they tell women don't do aspirin because when she's pregnant, because it robs the body of folic acid, iron, the real acid, and it depletes the body of different minerals that the body naturally needs. So if you need a pain reliever, family, do cayenne pepper, do willow bark, do these type of things that will aid the body. Do ginger. Did you know ginger is a natural pain reliever? It's a natural pain reliever. Ginger really is. I mean, family, when I say these different things, did you know some of these, they're called cortisons, but some of these things are chopped, birth control. There's some natural, did you know the Father even women thought about us when you want to not to get pregnant? There's some herbs you can take that keeps you from getting pregnant without doing those birth control pills. There's some that are good for you, but some that are okay for the body because of where we live in the United States and how our bodies, they've acclimated our bodies to a lot of toxins and stuff like that. So there are a lot of things you can do. that like herbs. So I just wanted you all to know, I love you too much. This EMA, I'm sorry I got real wrapped up into a lot of things, but you were right there with me, and I'm thankful. My hands out to you, thumbs up to you, because you were right there with me. You helped me out, and then I just love you too much. This EMA thinks you're wonderful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And the Father, when He made you, He said, this is good. Let's him. He who begun a good work in us, let us perform. He's going to perform it until this day of His redemption, until the day of His coming. So why don't we help Him out and live the best of our abilities and live the healthy life as best as we can. I think I love you too. Blessings on your day. Blessings on your week. Finish this Friday out tremendously. Let's finish it out so we can see our shalom, our Shabbat, shalom. I love you. Blessings.